Hi everyone, and welcome back to English Without Borders. I'm Kayla, your American accent, fluency, and confidence coach, here to help you be the most authentic version of you in English. Today, I'm really excited to talk about a topic that has been on my mind for a while now. I thought that this video was appropriate to launch for today on Thanksgiving Day, the American holiday, because it really aligns with the message that I have regarding this topic. If you are not familiar with Thanksgiving in America, it is a day where we really take time to sit down and think about what we are grateful for, what we are thankful for, and we reflect on that with family and friends. So today I am sharing my message to non-native English teachers. Now, this is a topic that is talked about a lot online, on social media, on different teaching platforms. And I know that within our English Without Borders family, we have a lot of members that are either English teachers already or would like to become English teachers in the future. And if you are an English student, this video is important for you to watch so that you can have a different perspective about what it means to be a non-native English teacher. Now, as you guys know, I am a native English teacher, but when I was growing up and going to different language classes, either in Spanish, French, or the new language I am learning now, Basque, whether someone was a native speaker or not was never something that we talked about in other languages. It was something we were aware of in the classroom because we knew the origin of that professor, where they came from. We knew their story, but it didn't matter to me whether someone was actually born in Spain or Colombia or France. That wasn't important to me. But this is something that constantly comes up in the English speaking teacher sphere environment that I hear all the time. So this is a really important message. This is exactly what I have to say to non-native English teachers. And just to clarify, I believe and I know to be true that anyone has the capacity to be an incredible teacher of any language, because teaching has a lot more to do with perception and mindset and motivation than it does with anything else. So I just want to put that out there before going any further. Now, I have 4 different points that I'm going to bring up about non-native teachers that express exactly why I am so grateful and thankful for all of the work that you guys do. Oftentimes we have the misperception that the only person who is qualified to teach us our non-native language or languages is a native speaker of that language. But that's simply not the case. And these 4 points that I'm going to touch on really highlight the strengths of non-native English teachers and why I love working and collaborating with them so much. The first one, they've already learned another language. Okay, they have already been through what you've been through. I genuinely believe that to teach a language, you need to know what it's like to learn one too. The vast and great majority of all of my teaching methods and the way I structure everything I do as a teacher has come from day one, has come from my own experiences of learning Spanish. How did I learn to feel confident? How did I find my own voice? How did I learn to improve my accent? How did I learn how to connect with other people? These are really important questions that if you haven't been there yourself, if you haven't experienced it as a teacher, then you can't sympathize with your students. So while you still may be a great teacher, if you are an English teacher and have never learned a second language yourself, you may struggle, and you probably will struggle when it's time to sympathize with the things that your students are feeling and going through. So that's a really big strength that non-native English teachers have. It's the fact that they have also learned another language, so they can help guide you through that process because they had to do it once themselves. They get it. They get you. The second strength I'm going to mention of many non-native English teachers is their ability to explain grammar points. Often when teaching, non-native teachers have a different perspective when they give grammar classes, and their organization of different grammar points that I have seen tends to be perhaps a little different than how a native speaker would approach the topic. And I think that's because non-native teachers at one point have had the exact same questions that you have or have had in the past about grammar, right? So, and this has happened to me, especially in my first couple of months of teaching English, when I was still trying to understand my own language better and find connections between grammar structures in Spanish and in English. Sometimes a student asks you why. And when it comes to grammar, lots of times, many native teachers, depending on their training and background, will ask themselves the same question. They'll say, good question. Why? I don't know either. So sometimes it really helps to have a professor there who has had the same question you have had and has found the solution through making connections between their native language and English, or finding a rule or organizing something in their head a specific way so they can help you through that process. If your teacher doesn't know how to explain a grammar point, it's really not a big deal. The important thing is to say, okay, I will find the answer for you and provide that information for you next class, but no teacher is all-knowing. We try to know as much as we can and we inform ourselves and we're constantly learning, but sometimes you just don't know the answer, and that's okay. But when it comes to grammar, I find that non-native teachers often have the answer in a different way than I would have given the answer. When I think back to my Spanish learning experience in college, one of the best professors I ever had when it comes to explaining grammar points was la profesora Small. And based on her last name, Small, she does not come from a Spanish-speaking background. But this woman, hola profesora Small, if you're ever watching this video, is so passionate about understanding the rules and the grammar of how the Spanish language works that she made it fascinating for someone like me as well. And while many students perhaps were bored or didn't like to talk about those grammar points, she found a way to explain it that was very easy for me to understand because she's been through it too. She, as an adult, had also learned the language that I was learning as an adult, and she had mastered it. Her grammar was insane. It was incredible. And I really looked up to her. It helped me know that, hey, if she got there, I can get there too. And that's something that non-native English teachers, you can do for your students. The third strength and reason why I am so thankful to non-native English teachers is their clarity and their standard pronunciation. Now, you may be confused by this, that I consider a strength, because oftentimes non-native teachers will have accents, right? But an accent has nothing to do with clarity, okay? They are separate things here. And you will have seen this in past videos, perhaps. If you are confused about that, I'll link that in the description box below so that you can check that out. But their accents, they can follow a different standard set of rules when it comes to an accent. But if their clarity is good and you always know the word they're trying to say, they're very careful about their pronunciation, and perhaps the accent that they have adopted is even more standard rather than a local dialect or variation of English, This makes it much easier for them to be understood in the classroom, especially with students who perhaps still have a lower level of English or who have not been exposed to other accents before. You can find lots of native teachers from other places like Australia or Scotland or the southern United States, but perhaps their accents are not something you are used to. And even if you do get used to the accent, you may still have questions about pronunciation. Why is pronunciation different? What makes this accent different from this one? And this is something that we talk about in English Without Borders a lot regarding the American accent, because you guys know I'm a phonetics and phonology nerd. I think it's really cool. My focus is communication, clarity, pronunciation, accent. But a lot of English teachers don't focus on that. So if you are a native speaker and you've never had to think about your pronunciation until someone asks you, you simply cannot explain it in the same way. But a non-native English teacher who has already gone through those same struggles in learning how to pronounce different sounds that may not be the same as in their native language, they can explain to you how to make it because they did it too. So they can break it down when we think about how we make sounds in the mouth in a way that perhaps a native Irish teacher who has never thought about different sounds in other languages, maybe they would have a harder time explaining that. So their standard pronunciation, or their clarity, at least in their pronunciation, can be a huge advantage for you as a student. And the fourth strength I want to mention of non-native English teachers is their ability to empathize with their students. Now, this is worth gold when it comes to a language learning experience. This is something very personal for us. It's the way we communicate, it's the way we sound, it's the way we present our identity or have other people perceive us when we speak another language. So when we make a mistake, we want to have someone there who can understand what it's like, who understands what it feels like, who has made some sort of embarrassing error before, that can share their stories and sympathize with you. This helps students feel much more comfortable with you because they know that at some point you made mistakes too. And you can highlight this to your students to let them know that it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to be you and try to find that authentic voice in English, and the rest will come with time. And non-native English teachers are very good at sympathizing and empathizing with their students in that regard. So the gist of this video, my main message is simply thank you. Thank you so much to all of the non-native English teachers out there who love the language so much that they feel called to help other people get to where they are today in that language. I think helping other people learn how to communicate themselves, be authentic, learn about other cultures and places around the world, open up doors to all new opportunities. These are incredible experiences, and you guys are changing people's lives, literally changing people's lives by helping them find those new pathways and open those new doors for themselves. So I couldn't be thankful enough for you. If you are a student and you have non-native English teachers or have had them in the past, go ahead and send them a thank you today. Tell them all of the great things that they have done to provide solutions for you, to help you, to understand where you're coming from. And that will mean a lot to them too, to know that, hey, I really am making a difference. I see such a passion in all of you for your love for teaching the language and helping other people master it, and I couldn't thank you enough. So that's why I think this video was very fitting to publish today on Thanksgiving in America, because it's a day to reflect, to be grateful, and to simply appreciate others. So I appreciate you all, I love you, and I hope to see you in the next video. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do so that you never miss a new video, and give us a like to support us. If you're a student, let us know in the comments below how a non-native English teacher has shaped or changed for the better your language learning experience. And if you're a non-native English teacher, Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Let's connect, let's chat. I would love to hear from you. That's all for today, guys, and until then, I'll see you in the next video. Happy learning, everyone.